Hey there, comic book fans. It's Rusty again with Collector Auctions, and here I am in the car again, headed down to Third Eye Comics in Annapolis, Maryland. But it's not for another new comic book day. This is actually a Sunday morning here in the Baltimore area, and it's a beautiful day. It's a little bit cool, but they are hosting Tony Fleeks and Trish Foistner of Stray Dogs fame, and I'm going to go down and get some books signed. They were here together about 6 or 7 months ago, and I got a lot of the Stray Dogs books signed, and issue number 1 of Feral. That was when they were launching the book, and I definitely got a few copies of that signed as well. So I'm going to go down. I still have a ton of Stray Dog books left that have not been signed, so I pulled a bunch. We're going to go down and get some of them signed. I'm going to shoot some footage, and I'll come back home. I'll show off everything that I picked up today. So stay tuned, and I'll be right back. There you go, Trish.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, I'm really OCD about things.
You got any particular preference? You got any particular preference? I'm gonna go silver.
No, you go silver. It's all good.
It's not even as good as the one that I had. Oh.
Yeah, I love this. It's probably one of my favorite covers on the Dog Days ones.
Yeah, this series had such good covers. I was so happy with them. I was just looking through like a cover gallery last night. I was so happy. Like just looking through them, I'm like, I remember this, I remember that, I remember that.
I'm trying to figure out satellite or something. How much of this latest one, this one here.
Oh, Basket Case, that was a Third Eye exclusive.
Yeah, it's one of their. They had two of them. They did them both at the same time.
They did Basket Case and they did Elvira.
Yeah, it's in there someplace. Or it's right here.
That's the first one I've ever seen.
The giant stack, my OCD stack of keeping books protected.
Safety first.
Well, what I was saying when Scott Snyder was in here is like I didn't do it the first time he was here. I forgot to put him in there, and you're standing in line, you're fiddling with him, and the next thing you know, it's like, oh, great, you just banged up that. That's a nice fingerprint. That's a nice finger bend. So many great covers. It was so much fun. I just remember when it came out, it's like, oh, what is this? And then all of a sudden, the horror variant started. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, it was hard to keep up. Luckily, there was a pandemic on, and I didn't have any other books to make.
But
So they would be like, hey, can you do 4 covers this week?
yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm sure everybody has their favorite. Mine was always when you did John Carpenter's The Thing. I mean, just. Tony, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you buying these books.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. I just finished up at Third Eye Comics at this signing with Tony Fleeks and Trish Foistner. And the third person you saw there was actually Tone Rodriguez, who also worked on the Stray Dogs and Feral books. So I took a lot of books, got a lot of books signed, and had a great time. And it was good talking with some of the other people in line, talking about some of their collecting habits and things like that. I love that. I love going out there and meeting people and learning about how somebody else collects. It's awesome. But I'm going to go home right now. When I get home, I'm going to unbag all the comics, put them in fresh bags and boards, and then we'll do a little show and tell. So stay tuned, and I'll be right back.
2 hours later.
All right, guys, I made it back home, and I took out all the books from all those signature windows that I had. I had pre-made all of my signature windows. That was all those books that you saw with the blue painter's tape around them, protecting the books, but leaving a window for the signatures. I had pre-made all of those, so I protect the books when I go to these signings. And as you saw from that little bit of footage that I shot, they were signing a ton of stuff, and they were just passing the books back and forth. So I'm a little OCD, as you probably heard me say in the video. I do it to protect the books, because I did it one time with a Scott Snyder signing where I banged up a pretty good book that I possibly thought about getting graded, and I took it off the table after I put that nice finger bend in one of the covers. So from now on, I take all my books, I put them into my pre-made signature window bags, and take them to the signing. Well, for the presentation, I don't want to leave it with all that blue painter's tape, so we're going to take them out like I did, put them into fresh bags and boards, and we can do a very nice presentation. So let's hope that's what we get here. So let's just get into what I got signed. We've got Stray Dogs #2. And to be honest with you, I cannot tell you which printings these are at this point. It's been a couple years now since these all came out. This, of course, is 28 Days Later. I believe that's right, 28 Days Later, the homage to that. And then we had Stray Dogs #1. It is a homage to Bram Stoker's Dracula, the one with Keanu Reeves, that movie. I did get 2 of these. It is the Free Comic Book Day from a couple years ago, Stray Dogs. I got 2 of those. And let me back up real quick here. I'm not even showing you the signature. So you can see there's the 2 signatures down here, and then right there is Tony Fleek signed right there. And but the same on that. They all signed around the logo right there, the title right there, and right there. And on the Stray Dogs right here, they all signed in the same area, all right on top of each other right there. And that was the end of the Stray Dogs regular series, the original series. I did have a bunch of the Stray Dogs Dog Days. That was the follow-up series. It was the 2 issues. And I believe this is the regular cover, #1. And then this was the horror variant. I don't know the horror movie on that. You guys can leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know what horror movie this is from. You can see their signatures. Let me see if I can put that right there. 2 of them are down at the bottom, and then Tony Fleek signed up there at the top. All right, let's put these down. Because I said I got a lot of books signed. Here was issue #2. I think this is just a regular cover. It's a little harder to see on that, but they signed in black on there. It actually in person shows up a lot better than what I'm seeing on the camera there. And then we had the horror variant on that one as well. They all signed down here in the corner, and that was pretty cool. Again, this is another one of those horror movie variants that I'm not familiar with. So again, let me know in the comment section which movie this was. Then one of my favorite horror variants to the Stray Dogs Dog Days books was this one right here. It is the homage to Creepshow. And it's going to be a little hard to see, but in person, you can see it, pick it up pretty good. Tony Fleeks is right up there. Tone Rodriguez is right below it. You're not going to be able to see it very well there. And then Trish is down right there. And I got multiple copies of that one. I had 4 copies of this thing left that I ended up getting signed. Like I said, I kind of wiped out pretty much, I think I'm out of Stray Dogs books. I've had so many of these over the years, some of which I've gotten graded over the years, some of which I just held on to. Trish Foistner is local Baltimore, so she ends up doing signings at Third Eye all the time by herself, but in the last couple times it's been with Tony Fleeks, and this time they've got the other artist on here. Tone Rodriguez is with him as well. That was pretty cool. It's the first time I've ever got to meet him. And then Third Eye actually had a couple of, when Dog Days came out, they did 2 variant covers for that same first issue. They did this one, which is the Elvira variant, and you can see real plain right there where they all signed right there. And then they did the basket case, And on this one, they did silver, and you can see all three of their signatures lined up right there. And come to think of it, that's all of the Stray Dogs books, whether it was the first series or the Dog Days series. I don't know if I've got any left at this point. But their new series, Feral, had come out about 6 months ago, and that's the last time that they were both there together. And I had gotten issue 1 signed at the time by them. But what I did not have at the time was the Virgin variant. I picked this up weeks after that signing, and I'm like, damn it, I wish I'd had that when they were both there. But this way, I actually took this to Baltimore Comic Con, and you can see Trish's autograph in there in red. She did that at the Baltimore Comic Con. She was there by herself. But I took this, and Trish, of course, had already signed it, so I got Tone Rodriguez. He signed right there. And then Tony Fleek signed right up there. So that was pretty cool. I also got this is not a Virgin. It is the glow-in-the-dark Blind and Boss issue number 2. I mean, let me see if I can show it in the light here. See if you can pick it up. Yeah, you see that right there? It's actually, you can see it. If you're in person, you can see it a lot better. This is actually a glow-in-the-dark variant. I think the eyes glow. I'm not sure what else does. But Trish signed it in green. Now, they weren't prepared to sign much in a lot of different colors at this signing. So it was a lot of silver paint pens or markers, Sharpies, and black Sharpies as well. That was about it. They didn't have all the beautiful colors that they could use that Trish had when she was at the Baltimore Comic Con. So in most cases, it would have been cool if they'd had the colored markers there, but it is what it is. I'm not too worried about that kind of thing. But all three of them eventually had now signed that issue number 2. I did have another copy of issue number 1, just the regular trade dress version. Now, what I didn't do was break out my Feral books that I had gotten signed, or even my Stray Dogs books that I had gotten signed previously, to have Tone Rodriguez sign this. Trust me, I had enough books here to get signed. It was a massive pile. I mean, I'm not even totaling up what I got signed. But what I'll say is there wasn't a big crowd there. So I didn't feel too bad about giving them a bigger batch of books than I normally would. Normally I would do about 12 books. And that's about where my cutoff is. But I gave them probably, what is this, about 18, not quite 20 probably, books. And I only did that because there really wasn't a lot of people for that signing. And I didn't feel bad because everybody was bringing a big batch of books. And it was, they were going to get through everybody in that line, no problem. In fact, probably people could have gotten out of line and gotten back in the line if they really needed to. But nobody needed to because they were so accommodating that they just took care of everything. And then the only other Feral issue I got signed was the issue number 1. It's another horror homage. In fact, I think it was the only horror homage they did on issue number 1 on this new series. And again, I don't know the movie. It's in the back of my head, but I cannot think of that one as well. Again, leave me a comment in the comment section below. But that was it for what I got all 3 of them to sign. All of these, Tone Rodriguez had worked on all of these. Of course, Trish and Tony had worked on all of these, obviously. All 3 of them did. But there were some other books on the table. They had Uncanny Valley, which is a Tony Fleek's book that he's been doing. And it killed me because it came out a week after he was there with Trish 6 months ago. And that book came out. And I meant to save it for down the line, but I didn't think they were going to be doing another signing anytime soon. And unfortunately, I could not go through my back issues, my new comic book boxes. I mean, it's piled up. That's 6 months worth of books in boxes that are basically back in the storage unit at this point. Not that well organized, so I couldn't find that particular copy I'd picked up. But on the table, they definitely had some Stray Dog books there. They had some Feral books there, but they also had some other books that Tony Fleeks had worked on independently, including Uncanny Valley. And they had about 5 of the 6 first issues, including reprints of issue number 1. And so while I was there, I wanted to go ahead, because I couldn't find my original #1. I went ahead and got the reprint, and I picked up. Actually, I was only going to pick up 3, but they're really thin books. So I ended up picking up 4 books, and I bought these while I was at Third Eye. But I got 4 copies of this signed right there. And they did have some other books, some Marvel books that Tony had worked on. I think he's been working on Wolverine Venom War, that book as well. I did not realize that, or I probably would have picked that up. I know that there was another collector there that likes to sell lots of his autographs, that he had some of those Wolverine books that he got signed. I kind of probably should have picked that up, but I really just wanted to have the Uncanny Valley ones done. And so that was it. That was everything that I got signed. It was a giant batch of books. Had a lot of fun meeting them. Trish and I have shared stories of her coming through Third Eye for the Scotty Young signing, and I think she remembers who I am every time I bring it up, that she stood in line to get Scotty Young to sign one of her Stray Dog books that Scotty Young had done the cover for her, and it was a super short print, I think, and how she actually just stood in line instead of basically being a comic pro that could have just walked in and saw Scotty Young herself. And it was cool that she spent time with the public in line and everything. And so we always kind of bond over that. I enjoy bringing that up all the time. And it was good seeing her and good and talking to all of them. It was kind of neat. Tony Fleeks actually came out early before the signing, and he brought everybody a box of donuts. And he brought it out, and everybody just kind of looked at him. And nobody took any, except for I think 2 people. Took any donuts, and I think it was because nobody wanted to get their hands all sticky and then have to handle their comic books. I think it was a very nice gesture. It's just nobody wanted to get messy like that right before having to handle their books. So guys, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this signing. They've got some other signings coming up at Third Eye that I'm really excited about coming up, and we'll be doing videos on those as we go through this fall. I hope that they have a few more before the end of the year, and we'll definitely do shows on all of these. But I hope you enjoyed this. Again, leave me a comment in the comment section below about what do you think about the books that I got signed. And if you enjoy this kind of content, definitely hit that like, slap the subscribe, and click on that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any of the content that I put out each and every week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 3 p.m. All right, guys, I'm out of here. You have a great day, and remember, every comic has a story.